All right, welcome into lesson 14 on accidentals. So, accidentals are symbols that alter a note's pitch. Remember, pitch is how high or low the note is. First off, sharps. Not a hashtag, a sharp. Sharp signs raise a note's pitch by a half step. The next note higher on the keyboard. So if we look at our keyboard up top, we have C, D, E, F, G, A, B, and then back to C. So if we have a D, obviously we're going to be right there, but let's raise that up a half step. So we have D sharp. Let's look at F. Raise that up a half step. It's the next note up, F sharp. Same thing with G. G, half step up, becomes G sharp. A, half step up, becomes A sharp. Now, there are some weird ones here, so let me just get rid of this quickly. Okay, so we have E, but the next note up is F. So couldn't we also say that E, we go up a half step, is also E sharp? Yes, you can. That term is called enharmonic. So enharmonic, they sound the same, but they have different names. So an enharmonic note, E sharp, is the enharmonic equivalent. We'll just say EE to F. So half step up from E, right there. Normally we're going to call that F. There are some cases we would need to call that an E sharp. Okay, switching gears, let's look at a flat. So a flat sign lowers a note's pitch by half step, does the exact opposite as our sharps. So again, let's label our keyboard, F, G, A, B. So let's take our B and we go a half step lower, B flat. Now remember, in the previous discussion on sharps, that can also be called A sharp. Those A sharps and B flats are enharmonic. They sound the same, but they are written differently. Let's go a half step lower than A. So we have A flat, half step lower than G, G flat. Oop, here's our tricky one. So F, we could go F flat, or that equals E, not really equals, but the enharmonic equivalent. Let's just finish out here, E flat and D flat. And finally, we have a natural sign. So a natural sign indicates that the note is neither sharp nor flat. Okay, so let's take a look at that. So if we have our treble clef here, and I'm going to zoom in just a little bit. So we have F, and let's say this becomes F sharp. Oop, let me redo that. I went to a natural at first. Come on. So we have F, F sharp, but I want this last quarter note to be an F natural again. So if I don't do anything, it's going to carry this sharp over to that note. So if I want to bring that back to an F natural, I use my natural sign. So this is saying this is an F, F sharp, and back to an F natural. So continuing on that, once introduced into a measure, accidentals are in effect for the entire measure, but are canceled out by the bar line. So if we look at the example on page 31, there's an E flat at the beginning. The second E flat, even though it doesn't have a flat sign, it is still an E flat. Again, for the third one, another E flat. But when we get to the bar line cancels it out. It restarts the measure. So the next time we see the note on the first line, it's no longer an E flat, but an E natural. All right, so we have our natural sign, neither sharps nor flats. We have our flat, and we have our sharps. So think about this cancels out, this lowers, and our sharps raise by a half step.